Welcome party people, it's Kantarian, and back again with another video on the soon-to-be released game, DNF Duel. A quick recap, DNF Duel is a 2.5 dimensional fighting game that is inspired from the Korean video game Dungeon Fighter Online. In this video, we're going to quickly cover some of the information that was given out during the ARCS System Works presentation, go a bit more in depth on some of the modes that were discussed, and do a slight breakdown of the newer characters that were on display during the exhibition matches. So let's get started. Now disclaimer, I do not speak or read fluent Japanese. I do understand a little bit though. I am also fortunate enough to have been able to get translation assistance from the lovely Mrs. Kantarian, who is fully fluent in Japanese. So a very special thank you to her. Arigatou gozaimasu. First, we'll cover some of the pictures that were in the video. This is where I got some of that translation assistance. So our first picture states that the game will be released on the 28th of June on the PS4, PS5, and Steam via download. The language will be in Japanese and only Japanese, but we have to remember that this broadcast was intended for a Japanese-only audience. The American release will have the option to have the spoken language in English, Korean, and Japanese, along with text in English. Our next picture, DNF Duel is an RPG online fighting game, and that it has features easy to understand operability, and includes a fusion of 2D visuals that match the original 3D gameplay. And DNF Duel pursued the quote, origin of fun, unquote, for fighting games. Worldwide, 16 playable characters will be available. Moving on, one-button special moves exist, and if you don't understand how to do complicated inputs, you don't need to worry. You can still pull off all the moves, and with the easy to understand gameplay, you'll be able to have fun with all your friends. Our next picture is talking about how the visuals for the super moves are very good, and that you'll have a variety of game modes to play. The poster for the ARCS Systems World Tour, and it will feature the games Guilty Gear Strive and DNF Duel. And continuing on, states that the total prize pool for the ARCS System World Tour will be $200,000, and this will likely be split between both games of Guilty Gear Strive and DNF Duel. And that tournament locations will be all over the world, with the finals being held in America in March of 2023. Now, for those that don't follow tournaments, this doesn't mean that the winner in March is going to receive a $100,000 check. This money is generally split up between the different contests throughout the world, and typically between the top 8 contenders at each event, with the winner getting the majority of the prize pool. So for example, let's say that there are 10 events which include the finals in March. Then each event would have a prize pool of about $10,000 that would then have to be split up between the top 8 players in the contest. Next, we'll get into some of the features. Now, the devs did dig a little bit more into the different gameplay modes that will be available in DNF Duel, and as their launcher trailer foretold, there will be an online mode, local mode, practice mode, and collection mode. Online mode will have 3 options to choose from, being ranked match, player match, which is the casual mode, and ranking. So we don't need to worry about ranked match being the only way to play online. In ranked match menu, we also see that you can choose matching settings, battle settings, or go to your profile. And that's really all that we got. Continuing from the top to the bottom, we'll cover the local mode next. And there are 4 options in local mode to include free battle, story mode, arcade, and survival. We see in the menu from the free battle that you are able to do a player versus player, player versus computer, or computer versus computer matches. Story mode will have an individual story for each of the characters, and eventually lead you to fight the final opponent. Now, whether or not the Lost Warrior is the final opponent for each character is unknown. But the benefit of beating story mode, as seen from Maximilian Dude's live stream of his early release copy, is that upon completion, you'll unlock the Lost Warrior. Arcade mode, you'll fight random characters until you beat the final boss. And survival mode is a 1-player mode, and we can see that there are 3 paths that can be taken. Paths A, B, and C. In Path A, you'll need to complete 15 stages, B 30 stages, and C 100 stages. And you're able to level up your character as you progress through to help you better complete each of the stages. Moving on to Practice Mode. In the Practice Mode menu, you'll have Training and Tutorial Mode. In Training Mode, you'll have a dummy that won't attack you, but you can set up recordings for the dummy to practice against in certain situations, as well as set up various conditions for either yourself or the dummy. And this seems like it'll be a very standard training mode at first glance. Tutorial mode will give you a chance to delve into each character and learn more about them. From the options that I can read, there are challenges that explain the rules of the game, basic movement, health points and damage, magic use, techniques, cancels and combos, system announcement usage, and more. Tutorial mode looks like it will be very in-depth. Collection mode will have 4 sub-menus to it. It will include Profile, Replay Library, Gallery, and Dictionary. In the Profile menu, you see this is where you can make changes to your profile card and purchase and select your avatar utilizing the in-game currency. Gallery mode has 3 selections: a movie gallery, picture gallery, and sound gallery. And this is where you can also make purchases with the in-game currency. Dictionary contains explanations of terms about sub-characters and locations that are part of the lore of DFO. Finally, let's look at the gameplay of the newer characters that were not available in the beta test that were used during exhibition play. This is going to be Launcher, Swiftmaster, Enchantress, and Troubleshooter. Launcher is a heavy, long-range zoning character, but performing combos doesn't seem like this will be her specialty. The character has a very tall profile, which was actually noted by the devs, and seems like she has a very slow walk speed and movement. To compensate, she has a multitude of weapons at her disposal, to include rifles, miniguns, lasers, airstrikes, grenades, and a flamethrower. If the style of play you like is to keep away and zoning out your opponent, and you're not really worried about doing big combos, then Launcher might be the character for you. Swiftmaster is the exact opposite, as it's obvious that he is a rush-down, in-your-face, constant pressure type of character. Swiftmaster has the ability to create wind traps, push wind attacks that can wall bounce to extend combos, generate Mega Man-like wind protection, and suck the opponent into them. If you like characters that are all about offense, then
oh yeah, you gotta get swifty. You gotta get swifty in here.
the Enchantress. It was really hard to tell what her game plan was with the limited amount of gameplay that I saw. But if I had to make a call, I have to say that she's more of a balanced character that has an emphasis on pressure with her assists. She has tools where she can do a decent job of zoning, mixed in with rushdown if needed. She has 3 items that she can use to attack: a rabbit stuffed toy, her teddy bear, and a floating broomstick that follows her. She has an assortment of projectiles that can be done in air and on the ground, and has the ability to drain the opponent's magic point gauge with at least one of her attacks. Troubleshooter seems like he's a mid-screen dominating character. His range is a bit too short to be an effective long-range zoner, but he does have big flashy attacks. His charged up shotgun blast will get him a hard knockdown. His grenade attack seems very good as it has decent range and detonates upon impact on an opponent or on the ground. He also can get some OTG or off the ground combos with his grenade and a leaping sword attack. The big drawback though is that this character's moves are a bit on the slow side, and so a character that is speedy and rushdown type, for example Striker, Ghostblade, Swiftmaster, or maybe even Kunoichi, might be able to easily overwhelm Troubleshooter. But if he establishes his game plan, watch out for this shotgun wielding, sword swinging, Maximilian dude looking guy. If you're interested in watching a video on the basics of how to play the game for DNF Duel, Wolfmonger has released a video that does a great job covering just that. Link to his video in the description below. And that's all we have for today's video. DNF Duel is just around the corner, and I'm looking forward to its release. I hope that you learned a little bit more about the features of this game coming out soon. Which mode will you like to jump into first? I'll be likely jumping into training mode and then trying to find some of you battling online. Leave a comment below and let us know, what are you looking forward to most in the game? Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you donkeys next time.